Hey guys, Charles Damiano back from the Bruce Lee Collection. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to continue on sharing with you some rare Chinese magazines which I've been featuring over the last few weeks. We've featured 4C's Weekly on this channel, we featured some of my Golden Movie News, and then I started pulling out some rare Chinese magazines that I picked up from New York City's Chinatown in the early 70s. And now I just stumbled across these two magazines, and I actually still have them in the plastic bags from where I purchased them at the time. And I used to purchase a lot from Jerry Ollinger. It was a big collectible store when he was on 14th Street. And I found these in his store back in the 70s, and this is a really rare magazine. And I'm going to just take it out of the plastic. And this magazine, the great thing about the magazine is it's only 18 pages. I don't know if that's great because we always like to get as many photos and images on Bruce Lee as possible. But the magazine came out in July of 1973, so only 3 days after Bruce Lee passed away. And that's when all these magazine companies was just flooding the newsstands with magazines on Bruce Lee, because everyone was so curious about how he died, why he passed away, and they were looking for answers. So all these magazines out of Hong Kong started putting out articles on Bruce Lee, and this magazine came out 3 days after he passed away in 1973. So not quite pre-death, but very rare magazine. And I'm going to just thumb through this with you. It's only 18 pages to see what kind of pictures they were putting out on Bruce Lee. Obviously they were focusing a little bit on his death at the time, because he just passed away. And here it is, a nice photo of him in Return of the Dragon. And as you flip through the magazine, a couple other nice shots of Bruce Lee. As you can see here, he is with Raymond Chow, sporting the sunglasses that he always loved wearing. And as you flip through the magazine, you'll see some other images of him as a childhood actor. So they were just trying to kind of give you an idea of his life and depicting different images of him. Here he is with the cast of Game of Death. Raymond Chow, Linda Lee's with him, Fred Weintraub, and obviously Bruce Lee. Here he is with his son Brandon and Shannon. And as you can see, the magazine is all in Chinese. I was really difficult even finding a date in this magazine, but I was able to see it. And again, it was July 23rd of 1973. Here he is in a couple of images from The Big Boss and on some Hong Kong talk shows. Again, here in Game of Death. And I'll continue to flip through this, some Chinese Connection images of Bruce Lee. And again, here he is with Linda Lee, and some more nice pictures of Bruce Lee as we flip through the magazine. And this is what they came out with back then in the early 73. Obviously an interview with Linda Lee from when Bruce just passed away. Raymond Chow, here he is with Brandon and his wife. And that's more or less it for this magazine. Again, it's only 18 pages, but it's very rare. It has a beautiful cover of Bruce Lee, an image on the back of some Asian martial art star at the time, featured in another movie. And this was one of the magazines that I picked up from Jerry Ollinger's. One other magazine I'd like to share with you. It came out a month later. Again, very rare issue. And again, this one also features Bruce Lee on the cover, and also on the back cover, sporting the glasses that we always see him wear. And obviously, again, this again is on his death with image of Betty Ting Pei, and that's who they found him with in the apartment at the time. And again, I'll just kind of thumb through this one really quick, because this one's actually a little longer, but again, a lot of pictures of his funeral and death in this magazine. As you flip through, the first few pages is all on the funeral that took place in Hong Kong. And then they just feature some other beautiful pictures of Bruce Lee, and there he is with Betty Ting Pei. Again, they're showing a depiction of him in her apartment. This was a movie that came out as they were doing back then in the early 70s, putting films out on Bruce Lee, because everyone wanted to know how could a young 33-year-old man in the best condition of his life just pass away like that. So again, pictures of his funeral. Again, some nice shots of Chinese Connection. More shots of Chinese Connection, Big Boss. Childhood actor pictures when he filmed, when he was in the movies as a childhood actor. Here again, some of the movies he made. Again, just a very, very rare magazine. You can see from the yellowing on the pages. I had this in a plastic bag for many, many, many years, since 1973. Again, very, very rare issue. And again, some images on the back. Inside cover of him on Hong Kong TV show, which I'm sure we would have all liked to seen. And then again, back cover, front cover of this great rare issue. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this episode on these two really, really nice, rare Chinese magazines that came out in July and August of 1973. Once again, Charles Damiano signing out from the Bruce Lee Collection, saying have fun collecting.